Hello and welcome to My Arts and Crafts. I'm Libby and today I'll be showing you how to make this cool layered landscape card. So to begin for this card, I'm going to be opening up Cricut Design Space. I will then open up the landscape layers design and I'm going to click customize. I will try to link this design down in the description box below if you are curious in this and would like to try a card like this or a similar card. I will then change the material colors to all of these. I have 3 different grassy hill layers here. I then also have 2 different mountain layers that I am going to be doing in 2 different grays. And then I have 3 different small waves. I think they are the same design, but if you layer them up, it looks like they are a bunch of different waves, so you can definitely do that. And then I have a big wave layer as well. You can also see that I have another grassy hill layer. I just copied it and pasted it and then made it brown so that I could have a sand layer for my beach scene, which is a great way to use them over again. I will be using a Cricut Explorer Air 2 for this, but you can use any Cricut that you have or fits your needs. So then I will click the Make It button up in the upper right corner and wait for it to load. You can then see that it's on 10 different mats here. I have you want them so that you have one piece on each layer so that you can cut it out of different colored cardstock. And if you want, you don't have to cut it out of all different colored cardstock. I just like to because it adds a little bit more dimension and more interest to the card, but you can do whatever fits your needs. So you can see that I have all my layers here. Then you want to click the 1 at the top of the screen. I didn't do this, but I suggest that you do it so that you can start at the beginning. And I had to go back and change that. I then click the continue button in the bottom right corner. And after it connected to my Cricut machine, I will then click medium cardstock, but you can click any setting that fits the material you are using. So then I have some gray cardstock here for an example, and I'm just going to cut it so that it is the right size for my project here. You want to make sure that it's at least 5.5 inches long so that you can make either landscape or portrait styled cards. You can also, if you don't want to do it landscape, you can do it portrait and cut it at 4.5. So now you can see I just put in the different cardstocks and let the machine do the cutting for me. It takes only a few seconds to do each of these. I did speed this up, but it does not take very long. The Cricut got out of whack, but it was okay, and it still worked for these two. Then I'll just let it finish up here. And then you can see that it has a little excess on the top because it doesn't cut all the way across. And I just cut that off with my scissors just so that it meets the ends. This is super simple to do and takes only a few seconds. So I will just do all of these different designs here. And I'm going to group them with the design I'm going to do. I have one like kind of mountain-y layer and then, one mountain-y card, and then I'm also going to be doing a beach card here. So I will just cut all of those off. And then once I have finished that, I then brought in my guillotine trimmer and I cut this down to what I thought was going to work, but I don't suggest that you cut it down quite yet. I did and it was okay, so if you do, it's not the end of the world at all. I just don't really suggest it for this, but it's totally okay. I'm just seeing how I like that, but yeah. I then wanted to add a white border, but you definitely don't have to. You could definitely do something different. I then, after I had planned it out a little bit better, I cut it down to the right size as I went through them, and I lined them up each time I cut something and planned it out so that I knew that it was all right and correct. So I can just layer these on top really nicely. This does take a little while, but it looks amazing in the end if you have the white border. I definitely like that, but you don't have to have the white border either. So I just cut all of those down so that they layered nicely, and I just made sure that it looked good on the panel. I will then do the same thing with my my ocean card. I'm going to do this one landscape instead of portrait. Yeah, I will just change that a little bit. For this big wave, I thought I was going to use it, and it looks pretty good with it, but I decided it looked better without the big wave, but you can definitely use the big wave if you want. I just decided for this card I didn't want to do the big wave, but again, you definitely can, and it definitely looks great with that as well. Another idea to do to add a little bit more dimension, which I didn't do at the time but is a great idea, is you can do a little bit of ink blending so that you can create you can create even more dimension than just different colored cardstock, which would be great. So I do suggest that you do some ink blending as well. So here for the sky, I'm going to do some ink blending. I measured it out here, so I marked about 1/4 of an inch from each side. And then I will add some washi tape around the edges so that it lines up. And this is about, again, this is 1/4 of an inch, and so it will match the border of the rest of the card that I had planned out. I will take just a smidge of tumbled glass ink, and I'm just going to go around the top and just kind of blend it out so that it looks like sky. Another great idea is to add a sun here. You could easily cut out a circle shape for this, or do anything you would like here for this. You could also do a sunset in the sky. There's a lot of different ideas for this, but I just decided to do a blue sky. So then I will do this other card here. It doesn't take too much tape, and you can definitely reuse it again and again. So I will do the same thing for this one. Super similar design. And peel those off, and I will erase the pencil lines. I am then going to just make sure that it looks good. And next I am going to attach all of these layers together. So I'm just going to line them up one by one, and I'm going to start with the back for this first card here. I then wanted to attach some foam tape between the sand layer and the wave layer because I thought that it would be nice to have some separation there, as there is a lot. I then attached the mountains together, but this one I had a lot of trouble with lining up, and I finally got it here in the end, and it turned out okay. Another idea is that you can add some white highlights, especially to the waves. That would look really nice. I then decided to add some foam tape between the grassy hills and the mountains for a little bit of separation there, which is another great way that you can add dimension. And then I just made sure that it lined up with the card, and I will add a little bit of some double-sided adhesive to the back, but you can use whatever adhesive you'd like. I then stamped a little hello sentiment with some Versamark ink, and this little thank you sentiment with some Versamark ink on both of the cards, so that I could have a little sentiment, but it didn't distract. I then used a little bit of white embossing powder on this green one, and then I used some Hero Art sand embossing powder for this other one, and it looked really nice, and it looked like there was sand there. I will then heat set this, so you can see that that one looks a lot like sand, which is really nice, and I thought it looked really cool. So then I just took the double-sided tape off the back and lined it up. And that one looked really, really nice, and I really, really liked that one. This one I then had a lot of trouble lining up, and I thought it was okay, but I didn't like it, so I ripped the whole front of the card, and I had to start over, but it's okay. I made a new one, and I came back, and so I will then adhere this one onto the front of the card base. And this one turned out really well as well. And I thought they both turned out really, really great, and is a nice landscape style scene for a card. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and come back next Tuesday for a new video. If you are interested in any of the supplies I used today, check the description box below. Have a great day. See you soon!